Hey, folks, welcome to another episode of the Doing It 365 podcast. It's your boy, Surf Rental, and I'm here with some good, long time artist friends of mine. These guys are, I want to say they were the soon to be next big things in the Afrobeat scene, and I feel like now they've made a return because they're hungry for it. So I'm glad to have them on the podcast to discuss their journey so far. Let's welcome Loco and Eazzy. What's
Yo,
going
yo,
on?
yo.
It's saying,
Like that introduction, nice introduction still.
thanks for having us on the show as well, bro. Really
Yeah,
appreciate that, man.
Good to
It's
be
a
here,
blessing, bro. It's a blessing, bros. Let's get straight into it and talk about the music, the love, the passion. Because as you all remember, we were coming from a time when Afrobeats was the in thing uni. So 2010, 9, 11, them times there. What was it like for you guys as new acts at that time?
That's a good
That's a
question.
very good question. I don't know. I'll say it was quite hard because we kind of felt like even entering, there was people had their own kind of cliques and groups.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And the scene was patterned already.
Like it was building quick, and there was a lot of groups forming already. So I feel like we felt like.
It felt like a bit like a private club.
Yeah, basically.
Like only certain man can get in, or they'll allow certain man to get in. And if you was new and upcoming, you didn't really get any support. You know what I mean? Unless you was part of this man's camp or that camp. So you kind of had to build your own squad yourself, and everyone was kind of a bit greedy, like to open up the door and let you kind of come in with them. So it was a bit of a mad time, I would say.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I hear that fully. Why do you think that though? Is it from an outsider looking in? Would you say that it's because of the fact that you guys didn't speak in the native tongue? Because a lot of the acts at the time, they were mixing a bit of their native tongue. So whatever tribe they're from or language they speak from in Nigeria, they'll make sure to have it in, or from Ghana, or from Congo, or from Ivory Coast. Whereas you guys very rarely did that. You were more giving it the British lingo and just catching a vibe or a wave, as they say now. So would you say that had an impact?
Yeah, I feel like in that sense was ahead of our time in terms of, you know, what you call Afro Swing now, we was kind of doing back then in terms of it wasn't hardcore Afro beats. It wasn't like, you know, like you said, speaking in a native tongue. We were speaking in English, but with that kind of Afro vibe. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think, you know, with a lot of the man in the scene, you know, like, you know, shout out everyone in the scene, but you had all, like I said, it was very clicky. So you had like Mr. Silver, Flavor, Qualms, Scob. You had that unit there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Then you had what's it called, YFS. You know, they had that unit. You know what I'm saying? Then you had, you know, Shao Shins,
Yes,
Starboy Wills. I'm saying everyone's kind of clicked up. Everyone's kind of clicked up. It wasn't until kind of later people started trying to kind of form and work a little bit more, but everyone was trying to do their own thing. And I think it's a bit of a dominance, a male dominance thing. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be the guy. You want to be the only one that's popping. You know what I'm saying? But people don't understand it takes the whole scene to push it forward. You know what I'm saying? So when someone opens up that door, and you know what I mean, we can all come through that same door. It doesn't mean because my man's bust, you know, you're never gonna bust. You know what I'm trying to say? Everyone can bust together. But I feel like the Mandem and the Afrobeat scene didn't clock that to the very end, because you can tell at the very end they all tried to come together. Everyone tried to come together and unite, but by that time it's kind of too late, because now they kind of like Mandem are a bit old school now. You know what I mean? And then you got the new young boys coming through now, and then it's pushing the scene even further. So I think that's what it kind of was. I think it was a bit of people were a bit selfish. I would say people were selfish.
Okay, that's that's interesting to hear, because you would think that only happens in the dancehall or the soca sphere, but to hear that it's happening right here in the UK, in the birthing and the growing on this, the budding stages of Afrobeats, Afro Swing, is interesting to see that music business or music understanding or the music elevation is still the same struggle, the same uphill. Talk
100%.
about some of your inspirations. Easy. Who who are some of the artists that made you say, you know what, I can do this, you know?
Well, funny enough, when we was like basically we used to do events, and we used to kind of book a couple man to kind of perform. And at the time, the people that were popping was probably like Mr. Silver. There was also Shower Shins and Wills. So to answer your question, like what got us inspired to do that sound was Mr. Silver. I would say Shower Shins and Wills. Who else was there? Like
the UK Afro movement.
Yeah, the UK Afro. It was mostly UK Afro movement that kind of got us to do that sound.
Yeah. It was just new. It was exciting.
Yeah. So I'd say that was mostly our influence. I would say. But if we're talking like in music as a whole, I don't know if you talk about that. But if you talk about
as well. Yeah, add that.
Okay, yeah. If you talk about that as a whole, then it'll be like WizKid or Burna Boy.
Yeah.
Who else would there be? Like, as we kind of developed, as our sound kind of changed, it was more like American and UK influences, like not just Afro sounding people, but man, just it was. I don't know, like Drake and who else is there? Like, who kind of inspires us now?
50 Cent.
50, definitely 50 Cent, Biggie.
Yeah. Even the old school, I'm still like, even to say I'm inspired by a lot of the old school people, like, you know, like the Nellies and the like P. Diddy's, like listening to some of their old music. Like, I don't listen to none of their new stuff, but the old hits from like the 200s, you know, from like the late 90s, like I still rock with that. And sometimes that kind of influences me to this day in terms of like our lyrical content.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and some of the concepts that we think of. You know what I mean? So definitely, it's a wide spectrum. It's not linear. It's quite.
I love that you mentioned the concepts, because for me, now that you've mentioned your inspiration, it definitely shows through in your visual concepts for sure. Because you guys' videos always clean. You never ever did the typical or the standard or the quickly on the block. Quick, one of the man them's dad's uncle's car. We're gonna quickly pose in front of it. We're gonna get a couple of the gallem that we know. Nah, it was well orchestrated, well organized. You could tell there was a budget in mind. Yeah. There was a budget used, and it was like, you know what?
Yeah.
And now that you've mentioned that you did events as well, I'm probably thinking you probably took the thing in the full 365, the full 360, and events, music, videos, and go through like that. So how was that for you though, seeing the genre of Afrobeat grow and evolve with you as you're growing? Because we were listening to it in college, you've come to uni now. What were the songs you remember listening to in the uni raves and said, yo, crazy?
You know what it was? I think it was like when actual Afrobeats itself first came over here. You know, when you were in school, I think it was African Queen was the only one hit we heard. Like growing up, like you are my African queen. And that's when it kind of started breaking through. And like it's the first African song that's kind of popped off with our generation or the younger generation. And when we got to uni, and then you know they were playing like Packable, Jojo, that all these kind of music. And it's like,
yeah.
And it started coming through and like, hold on, what is this whole like new sound coming from Africa that now we're messing with? And then Burna Boy first came, you know. So it was just like so exciting, I think. And I feel like, you know, especially with Africans, you know, I said shout out all my Caribbeans or whatnot. You know, growing up in school, there was always that kind of like, you know, Caribbean versus African thing. You know what I mean? So for it now to kind of like, you know, switch over in terms of now everyone's messing with our music and, you know, the African culture.
Yeah.
And people are loving the African culture. It just made us feel a lot more, you know, as Africans and as people, and, you know, just as a general community, not just Africans, just a lot more credible and well established, you know, within the communities. Because you got to remember, like, Caribbeans came over here first in the UK, you know, through Windrush. So a lot of the lingo and whatnot we use even is like, you know, Caribbean colloquialisms, you know, slang. So it's like, you know, you guys have been here for so long. It's like, you know, I think there was a lot of friction, you know, growing up as kids, being young, but now it's just a lot more peaceful. There's no real issues with people. The Caribbean.
I agree.
We love the community. You know, Burna Boy infuses the Caribbean and the African, and the Caribbeans and Africans love him. Like everyone loves Burna Boy. So it's now the whole thing is just mixed up and it's just generated a new sound, a new scene,
Beautiful.
and it's sick.
Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned the history as well, because I remember growing up here and I'm just like, yo, all right, African Queen is nice. I remember going back to Jamaica and hearing it on the beach. I'm like, all right, cool, but it's not the. I knew already it wasn't the only song. So
Yeah.
I'm saying, okay, cool. The first time I go back, I'm like, yeah, African Queen. I'm like, why they play this? Yeah, sick. When I go back again, I'm like, hold on. You are playing the same song, but there's Pakruma, there's Ice Prince, there's Don, there's Dibanj, Don
Yeah.
Jad, there's okay, Chuku, there's One Day Cole. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
One Day Cole. I don't know. One Day Cole is my artist.
He's the guy. He's the
There's,
guy.
Temi Aladede, there's Tiwa Savage. There's so many people now, and it's just like, yo, this is crazy. Let's now talk about you balancing that though, because as we said, you guys came into it and you were doing the stage of the uni shows, the uni tour. So you're going from uni to uni to uni. How is that like managing uni and music and probably working, because to do the events you had to have some other kind of income?
Yeah, 100%.
If we're being honest, I would say it was literally all over the place. We did it when there was no set plan. Like we was doing it when we could. Like there was no. I would say now we're definitely organized with our time. But I thought them times there was just balancing everything and doing the madness. But yeah, at the end of the day, we did have a proper passion for the music. So we always met up to have time to write together and make our music. So. Obviously, yeah, we still managed to do our uni things and work, but yeah, we always kind of prioritize the music at the end of the day because that's obviously what made us happy in it. So yeah, man,
it's not easy. It's not easy. So for anybody watching now, please understand this. What you're seeing the artists do now, where they can just go fully into music, was not the case back in the day. You had to have a job on the side, and that's why probably a lot of the rappers now, they say, you know what, they're going to go to the music, but then they're trying to keep the two, and it's hard because music takes a lot. Let's speak on, you mentioned you're making time to write together. Let's speak on your creative process. How do you guys go about creating your songs? Is it always the same method or is it different method?
Well, we both write music differently or make music differently. Quite the opposite. So with me, I like to sometimes be alone in the car and I'll just write something. And Logan's the opposite. He bounces off the vibes of the studio atmosphere. So if the beats are banger, he can freestyle something, which is pretty unique. Like he freestyle something. And yeah, in terms of what I feel like when it comes to the studio and making a chorus or catchy song, it's off the vibes of how we feel or what's gone on. Literally, there's no set. I wouldn't say there's a set plan. Yeah,
okay.
Yes.
Is there one thing that must always be in the studio when you guys are recording together though? Because I feel like every artist has that one thing. You see most of them in America, they have some kind of liquor, or it's that perp something, or they have some kind of smoking, it's a Cuban cigar, something about cannabis or a cigarette. What is it for you guys that has to be in the studio to ensure you can lay down that banger?
I think for me it's alcohol. I need a vibe. I don't need it. There's times we go to studio and we've made music just normally. Even the other day, went studio on Tuesday and we didn't need any alcohol. Like, you know what I mean? But if I'm in the studio and it's a vibe, listen, a bottle of Kobos, bottle of Henny, you know, sometimes we can have a couple people in the studio and it's just making it a vibe, because that's when you're in that energy, in that mood, you know what I'm saying, then you can lay down something. You can lay down something kind of wavy and it feels like a vibe and everyone's just like bouncing off each other. That's when you can make some really, really good music.
I remember also we like, well, I used to try smoke to try to open up my creativity, but it did the opposite. I'm not a smoker in it, but I don't know. I thought I'll experiment in it, so I started. And the thing is, I forgot what I was smoking, but I literally couldn't write down anything. I couldn't remember what I was. Like it was. I guess smoke is not for everyone, innit? Like, some people can really benefit off it, but I think with alcohol and the vibes, that's it for us. It has to be a vibe.
And you know what? I'm happy you stated that, because I feel like a lot of artists feel like they have to smoke. They have to now
That's
follow
the
what's
thing.
before them. They have to fit in. Oh yeah, well if this artist is big and he does this in the studio, then I have to do it too.
Yeah.
No, you can be in the studio and have a bottle of water. You can have flipping bug spray or something, anything you want in the studio. And but
It's
then
true.
it's having the different creative moments. Like Easy,
Mm.
you're in the car. Loco has to have the in studio vibe, hear that bass. I understand because sometimes hearing it on your phone speakers or your AirPods or even your in-house speakers is not the same as when you have the proper
100%.
effects
100.
going
Yes.
through your body. And then again, you mentioned having people around. Do you feel like certain people in the studio amplify or change the vibe as well? Because you might have been feeling to do
Mm.
a love song, and then you know you say, "Nah, man, this is a festival kind of song. Let me write something that people can chant to."
I tell him about my man. Tell him about my man. There was a guy who was in the studio. Yeah, I was recording a song. Yeah, and then legit, he was telling Easy how to what bars to say.
Yeah.
And then that I just want to pattern it the way I want to pattern it. But he loved the beat and he loved the vibe Easy was on. But he wanted it to be a bit more. How did he want it? I can't remember.
To be fair, like shout out, I forgot his name, but shout out this guy. He's a Caribbean artist one of as well. I think he's a soca artist as well, actually. Yeah. So I was recording like a normal rap song. And obviously he was feeling it. He was feeling it so hard. Yeah. And he's like, no, like he's trying to like have his input. And I think that kind of bugs us when a person wants to change how. Like I get, you know, some people want to give you advice, but when you kind of try to push your ideologies onto you, it's kind of annoying. Like I'm trying to record something, you're like, nah, do like this, man, do like this, or say it like this.
Yeah. And it becomes.
I hear this now. Okay, I this. I never knew there was in studio politics like this before. This person sounds like he's a stranger to you. That's one.
Yeah. It was.
Two. What if what he was saying made the song even better? Suppose you did it now, and then you had it as like a remix or something. You put it down. You said, you know what, let me just test this and see what people say. You should have done that. Or did you consider that?
Now, to be fair, listen, I'm open. I'm always open. So I said, you know, bro, let me do it. I did it how he wanted me to do it, even in an accent. Yeah. In a Caribbean accent, I did it as well. And then it just everyone, lucky enough, everyone was in the studio, so everyone was like, "Nah, man, doesn't really work. Like, do what you was doing before." Yeah. So then he was like, "Okay, cool." But at least I tried.
Yeah,
I tried. Yeah.
But I feel you see something like that now. He sounds like he wanted to be on the song.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah. So he wanted to say to you, like, you know what, guys, let me do a song together. Yeah. Because in the Caribbean, artists write on the same rhythm, but several times. So you can have the same rhythm and do 3 different songs. Sometimes all 3 songs are hits. And it's like, wow, like Cartel does it a lot. You're like, hold on, how did the man write 3 different songs? And it's wicked. It's dope. So, but that's the first time ever hearing somebody try and force their creative input on you in the studio. And it's like, because naturally now you're thinking, hold on, brother, I have my vision in my head. I've come to with that vision, and you're just trying to erase my vision.
Yeah, that was the thing.
So how do you stay creative, and do you ever experience writer's block? Because I feel like sometimes artists, you have moments where it's just flowing, and other times it's just like, you know what, it could take you. How long does it take you to write a song, basically?
It varies, you know. Like I feel like it depends on the actual. I feel the first thing is the beat. The beat has to be something.
It's got to slap.
It's got to be a banger. I think if a beat is a banger, it's so easy to just think of stuff. But if you have a kind of a mediocre beat, like it's kind of, you have to actually kind of think harder, which is a good challenge, I guess. But to answer your question, yeah, we do have writer's block. I think we just kind of go away and have a good weekend where we just enjoy ourselves and do what keeps us happy, and then we'll come up with certain. I don't know. Like it varies, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it's hard to say, man. Sometimes we go in the studio, we'll put down a beat, and then like nothing comes. But then you come back to it by the third. You move on. You come back to it maybe 2 weeks later, and then all of a sudden you think of a sick hook, and the hook slaps. And then off the hook, that gives you energy and it gives you a vibe because now, this hook is hard. And then you just start rapping and you start freestyling like, yeah, this slaps. And then all of a sudden now you got a song. So sometimes it's just good to remove yourself and just come back to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sometimes, yeah.
Just to come with a fresh mind.
Cool. That makes sense. Would you let anybody write for you? And if so, who would you let write a song for you? Male or female artist?
You know what? Like if you asked me probably like a couple years back, I would have been like, nah, like what? Someone write my song, like. And I would just probably feel moist. But now in today's society, I don't feel like there's any harm to get help. Like there's no harm to get help. If someone can write a good verse or chorus for you, why not? So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, we'll be open to both female or male help to songwrite, definitely.
I feel like it depends. I feel like the way I'm a bit, me personally, I'm a bit like, what's the word? Like, I don't know if overprotective is the right word, but I just don't want another person being like, yeah, I wrote the song for him. I did this. It was me that did that. Like trying to take ownership of, of your work in it and your talent. Because, so I feel like I don't mind, like you said, receiving help. Sometimes you might be stuck. You might have 2 bars you're not unsure of, and someone goes, say da-da-da-da-da, like, oh yeah, appreciate that. You might slap that in there. So that's cool. But if you say full songwriting, like they fully write our verses for us, I don't think I'd be comfortable with that unless, let's say, it was blown and it was fully gone. Because I feel like it gets to a point where, like, like Drake, for example, he's a busy man and a busy schedule, and it's now Drake is probably at a position where he doesn't have time to sit down and write music anymore because he's so busy touring shows. He's got business ventures. So now he just gives it to his workers. They write it for him. He goes studio and just laces it. So I think at that level, cool. But, right now I enjoy the craft. I enjoy the craft. I enjoy being in the studio and trying to figure it out.
The reason why I asked that as well is because for me, what shocked me was when I found out this was on Clubhouse that the song "Toast" by Coffee wasn't written by her.
What? I didn't know that. Man,
it was written by a next set of people that work with the label, and it was like, "Yo, all right, well, we've got a concept for you. Here's the structure of it, basically." And Coffee probably added 1 and 2 bits. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it wasn't totally all her that wrote. And I'm like, yo, this is a fantastic song.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
It makes me think to what you're saying, where it's like the craft, the creativity. Obviously, you bring across that energy for the song, though. So I don't think the person that wrote the song could bring it across as well as you.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say. So I feel like and it's so great to hear that because you guys are still in your growing and you're about to have that through the roof moment coming up in the next year or 2 years. So it's like it's interesting to hear how artists feel about this now because again, your history of doing and being in the music makes you think, you're right, Loco. Like, I don't want you to go because then you're gonna. And people sometimes do that. I do say that, and it's like, and then we've seen, like you mentioned, Drake. We've seen the whole thing with Drake and Meek Mill, where it's like, but you're not write your songs yourself. But then Drake was like, all right, cool. Well, this is what I'm gonna write and speak.
It's true.
So, I feel like music is a very, very, very complex, delicate, harsh world, and at any moment in time, any aspect of it can consume you. You mentioned earlier that you like to go away and do things that you enjoy and then come back to the music. What are the things that you guys like doing and enjoying outside of obviously making music?
I would say we're quite. I'll say we're quite. You're stupid. I'll say we're quite sociable guys. So we do like to party. Sound like some young kids in it.
Yeah, that's a party.
No, remember the clubs have been closed. So if you say party, it's fully legit. We ain't been outside.
It's true. I guess it's the socialite lifestyle, and it's that kind of rapper musician lifestyle. So you might go out, see people. You know what I'm saying? Go out at parties, have fun. I think socializing and just like engaging with people and meeting people that do listen to our music and stuff, and and then they're giving us feedback about our music and what we're up to, and just blowing off a bit of steam is always good. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think
Where's the
it's just
first trip?
that.
I love that. I love that. Where's the first trip you're going to? Because I remember in your recent song, one of your smash hits for last year, Trainers,
Mhm.
you mentioned
Uh,
a sweet Bayesian. So I want to know where are you flying out to? If let's say no more quarantining, is
yeah,
Barbados on the list? Have you been
I,
Barbados yet?
I
Where are you going?
listen. I like the Bayesian girls. You know what I'm saying. So I mean, I'll go Barbados. I'll go Barbados still. You know
Do you
what I'm
know
saying.
what?
But
You
yeah,
go
I actually,
Barbados? You ready
bro.
for the
yeah,
crop over? All right.
Barbados. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually want to go Jamaica. I think it'll be interesting.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the next stage now, and it's happening where a lot of the people from the Caribbean are going to Africa more and more. The more that
Yeah.
on the continent are going to the Caribbean and saying, "Yo, like, come on,
Mm,
let's go." Here
Mm,
in the UK, we know that the cultures are linked and intertwined.
mm,
So there's
mm,
been quite a few moments where you say, "You know what? Let's go somewhere like Dream Weekend. Let's go Crop
mm,
Over. Let's go Carnival in Trinidad or St. Lucia or wherever."
yeah.
We've got Miami Carnival or Caribana in Toronto. So you have
mm,
that experience of it. So yeah, that would be dope, and it will probably even help your musical inspiration because you're like, you know what, yeah, I feel a vibe and it's something new to talk about, and then you can hear something and you see something, you're like, yeah, that's dope, that's wicked.
Mm,
So definitely first trip outside. But let's talk about you guys and your hometown, Nigeria. You're both from Nigeria, I believe.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So
100%. I'm Yoruba and
And then,
he's somewhere else.
yeah, so someone.
what are the plans for performing or bringing your music or your talents to Nigeria? Because there's a lot of up and coming talent in Nigeria now. Are you planning to work with anybody?
That's a very good question.
I mean, at the moment, it's weird. We're coming back to Nigeria, but we're getting a lot of influx for features from like Canada and America at the moment. So we just done a feature with a guy called
Jeffrey DX.
Jeffrey DX. So they like hit us up like all the time, like quite a few times now. Obviously, it's good because somewhere that our music is hitting that market there,
Mhm.
and actually we're getting paid from these features, which is amazing to see that, from hard work and craft, we're actually getting people who want to work with us from overseas. So it's just weird for us because we're just still not. Thank you,
I love that.
thank you. We're just still like, it's just us. It's the man, the minute. It's just like,
Mhm.
so when guys are hitting us up like, no, like we want to work. I'm just like, huh? Like, how did you even hear this?
It's
like,
mad, yeah.
How did you even hear this song?
It's the streaming. It's the streaming.
Yeah, it's streaming because we saw the demographics and the people in the US and Canada, they listen to us. So I'm like, how's it even getting there? I don't get it, but it's a pleasure to see. So in terms of Nigeria, to answer that question, yeah, definitely. I mean, we would definitely work with African Nigerian artists. Anywhere really, anyone and anybody that wants to work, we're willing to work.
I feel like we've always been quite open with who we want to work with anyway.
Yeah,
and it'd be great to obviously work with an African artist or anywhere else. Anyway, to be fair,
100%.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Talk to me about 2020. How was that year for you guys, and what did you get up to? Because for me, I was like, yo, these men are making some noise, and you had me spending money I shouldn't have spent because your song was, talk to me about this for 2020.
Do you know what? Yeah, 2020, like we thought would be a disaster. Like once lockdown hit, we thought, shit, like this is probably gonna be a crap year. But I think we kind of still managed to.
It was a weird one because 2020 started off normal. Everyone was like, oh, 2020, yeah, my year. Boom, 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 boom. Got to about February, March. Me personally, I got hit with COVID. So I got hit with COVID hard. Like I was in hospital. Like my family were crying. Like they thought I was gone. But managed to fight through that all the way from sort of March, April, May. And then me and Eazzy just came together and said, you know what, we need to like be consistent and we need to take this shit serious because like we're getting people reaching out to us. We've had like a couple of management companies, couple of labels reach out to us, and they've said that our music, they love our music and our sound, But one of the things we're cutting ourselves short because we weren't being consistent. We weren't pushing our social medias out there. And even if they were offering us a deal, it wouldn't be the deal that we wanted because just off the basis of we're not developing our brand. So me and Eazzy just came together and said, you know what, we need to just be a bit more serious, man, and just be more consistent. So we just started freestyling. And yeah, go on, continue.
Yeah, no, so we just started freestyling, we just, like, I think we did like a block session in studio, started making a lot of music. And then was like, you know, we're just gonna drop everything we have, like everything we think is a bang, we're just gonna drop it, like just go nuts. There's nothing else to do. And the thing is, with lockdown, we had so much time to kind of sit down and write, and because we was outside working out, riding through Kingston or South London, everywhere was going around. I was inspired by so many things, like just what was it? House party, there was Clubhouse and all that. There was so much things to just
so much things going on.
So much things to motivate you to write a good vibesy song. So yeah, literally we just put pen to paper and started just writing music and started releasing everything.
Yeah.
And we obviously, from what Logan said, we had a lot of feedback before that wasn't consistent. So we was like, you know what? We're gonna keep going. Like we're gonna just drop everything like bam, 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 bam. So that's what really kind of pushed us. Like yeah.
And
I love that. I love that because when I was telling the artists that I know personally, like yo, especially in the soca scene, I was like, yo guys, you need to keep pushing the music. Yes, I know it's hard. There's no carnivals. There's no this or that. But this is now the time where you need to dig deep, 100%. Get in your creative bag, and give us the music because it's going to keep you sane. You can stream it, people will buy it, and then it will keep the people sane and happy too. And then you have to adapt now. Now there's Twitch. Now there's IG Live. There's this YouTube Live. You can do your virtual concert and charge people and say, yo, or come and donate, come and contribute. And they'll do it, and then you'll be surprised. You're like, bro, I can reach my fans more. I can garner new fans as well.
Yeah,
sure.
So that's a big look. That's a big step. And you had, for me, one of the best songs of the year, 2020, with Trainers.
Thank you,
brilliant, bro.
Prez got a shout out Prez as well on the hook. Big up, and he released the EP. Talk to us about the EP and the name, and what were some of the favorite songs for you off the EP?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a dope question.
We start from the name. It was literally all or nothing. It was literally we give it everything, or we're gonna live to regret that we didn't do nothing about it. So literally all or nothing. We literally go hard or go home kind of mentality. So it was perfect because we kind of developed that during lockdown as well. So yeah, that the name kind of speaks for itself, how we was feeling.
Yeah, it definitely all stemmed from, again, the feedback we got. So even because that was all or nothing too. So we did all or nothing one in 2018. And then our hit on that EP was Grinding. And Grinding was probably one of the most maddest feedback we ever got for a song. Like the amount of plays, it got playlisted on Spotify, it got playlisted on Apple Music. And then it was just like as an independent artist, that's big for us because you don't really get playlisted unless you're under a label or you're signed, you know what I'm saying? And your management under that label push for you to get playlisted and get streamed. So that was all independent. That was big for us. And then fast forward to 2020, again, dropped another EP. Appreciate that, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Trainers got playlisted again as independent artists. And it's just like, well, the industry, you know, and these major players, obviously, excuse my French, F with us. You know what I mean? Because they like the music, they like the songs. So how are they playlisting it? We're not going through any processes. And we're getting verifications on Spotify and whatnot. But it's just like, again, it's the only our biggest enemies are ourselves because we're not feeding them enough. You know what I'm saying? We're dropping songs, it's doing good as independent artists, and then we just fly off and then we drop another song again 4 months later. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if you go to the gym, you can't go to the gym for a week straight and disappear for 6 months and then go to the gym again for another week. You're never going to lose the weight. You're never going to get hanged. Maintain. But you've got to go gym every 5 days a week consistently for a year to 2 years to see those major results. And that's how everything is in life. You got to apply the same thing across everything else. Otherwise, you're just capping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Straight up. I'm still getting used to that lingo, just capping. I'm like, huh? But yeah, I'm with you. I love that, and it's so important that anybody watching this again, if you're up and coming artist, you're up and coming producer, you're a creative in any way, shape, or form, even if you do podcast, YouTube yourself, the consistency is key because time is gonna keep going. Time is consistent. So time is gonna keep going whether you're doing it or not. So that's just the truth, man. And I love that. I do love, and I have to give you your flowers, man. The rollout for trainers, the effort you put in, the composition, the promo, the marketing before and after is important as well. And you look. I saw the old you lot that I remember when you lot were just coming out with the shutdown hints and the shutdown events, and it's like, I'm grinding again, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else you have in store for 2021 and going beyond that as well. Another EP, debut album, some. Who are some of the artists that you two defo want to work with, whether they're based here in the UK or abroad? Who are those that you are defo? If you worked with them, you'd be like, yes, this is where.
I know you.
I know what Miss Banks.
Yeah, you can say that.
Miss Woo! You see
Miss Banks is also like, the person who would
you
want to work.
see Miss Banks?
Creme
de la creme artist. I love her journey as well. If anybody's watching and you have connects to Miss Banks, I would love to speak to her. Please, she is doing big things. She's been grafting the brand and she's been very humble. I don't think she gets enough flowers and praise.
That's it, man.
Yeah,
she's doing big things and big works.
She's been doing this from early, you know what I'm saying? And she's talented.
Remember from her Woolly Road days, I was like, oh, look at
yeah.
She's gifted.
Miss Banks, oh, cute on that, yeah. Yo,
beautiful.
So Miss Banks, anybody else?
What guys, girls?
Anyone really?
Anybody, any artist you would love to work with and say, you know what? Let's make some magic.
Do you know what? I like NSG, man. Like we've known them for a while.
Yeah.
And they
I remember some of them. They was like one of the first people to do big clash and all. I'm like, yo, what's that? He was, I'm like, Russell, big artists now, global artists now.
They're doing well. We was there in the studio when they made their first ever song, like when they were just up and coming.
It was like Omole Wine and Koch.
Yeah, some Wine and Koch, yeah.
Yeah.
Them. Who else is there we would like to work with? There's tons of artists, man.
Reach out to them. Hold on, if man, listen, NSG or anybody that's a part of their team, reach out to Eazzy and Loco and make the tune. I know you remember. I know Shower Shins as well. Will's connect up. Everyone needs to connect back up now and make a back. When's the festival coming? What's the festival you lot would like to perform on?
It has to be Glastonbury, bro. Yeah. I would love it. Okay, if we're talking
next
Glastonbury, say them all. Don't downplay the thing. Say all. Yeah. So Glastonbury, what else?
Short-term goals like Wireless, for example.
Wireless.
So long-term Glastonbury.
What other festivals are there?
I would love to do international festivals like Rolling Loud.
Even Afro Nation.
I was waiting for the Afro Nation.
Afro Nation would be sick. What else?
I feel like any festival for us would be a blessing anyway.
Yeah.
It's always amazing to perform in front of a huge crowd anyway.
Yeah.
So
we're doing I think what we doing is we're doing the Rugged Fest.
Yeah. So we have there's a festival called the Rugged Festival, and I think that's going to be probably end of August or September. So that's going to be our first festival booking.
There we go.
Really happy about that one.
Yeah, man. Happy. I think it's going to be Miss La Familia. A couple people from the industry is going to be there. So it's going to be like our first real kind of entry. To kind of see what's going on and how everything kind of works. So I think we're just going to use that as a learning process.
Yeah.
Obviously, right now we've been a little bit quiet because we're in the studio literally 3 times a week making a ton of songs. So again, we can just do what we did in 2020.
Coming next month then?
Ooh.
Because if the festival is August, you need to release some music in time for the festival.
I know.
Listen, just
so you have to be telling me EP in July. July's this weekend.
Listen,
hold it next week. July's next week. Yeah.
Bro, so we're working. So we're gonna here's
the timestamp. Here's the note. Today's date, people. If they don't release a banger this time next month, they're not going to the festival. They're not going. Release the bangers. You need to have at least 2 songs out.
Yeah, don't worry.
In time for the festival, for sure.
We're dropping something still. We're gonna drop something. Proper.
Yeah, hungry. I love that.
Yeah,
and I love that there's actually now there's actually the industry's actually it's so crazy. The industry's actually growing in and of itself because now there's more festivals, there's more opportunities for artists at every stage to actually perform to a crowd. Remember, we just spent the last 18 months doing it virtually or none at all. And the
Yeah.
few we have had like maybe a bar here or a lounge here or a quick Zoom or a quick clubhouse thing there or IG live or YouTube live. It's like, it's small numbers or nobody at all. And now it's the real deal. Now this is one moment of the make or break moment. And I'm looking forward to seeing you lot do big things. What else have you got in store for us for 2021?
For 2021, I'll say this will probably be our most. I think this is probably going to be the year that we drop the most songs.
Probably, yeah.
It's going to be the year that we drop the most songs. That's why we've kind of been a bit kind of quiet for a few months, but it's because we've been literally stacking songs and creating songs to give it the one big push, when it comes out.
Yeah, so we're just making a lot right now in the studio. So and then we just hopefully back to back have 3 videos ready back to back, so we can just drop. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do, man. That's what 100%.
People, right now, I want to remind you to please, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed the interview, the podcast, please click that like button, click that share button, share this with a friend. If you want to Eazzy's friends or the Locos friends, share it out to family and friends, no matter where you're watching this right now. This is the Doing It 365 podcast. I'm so influential. This is Eazzy and Loco. I can't even call you up and coming because you guys, but the next big thing, that's what I'm going to say.
That's it.
Big things, like, watch out for them, look out for them. Their links to their latest songs, their latest EP will be in the description box. Their Instagrams will be there as well. So make sure you follow them, make sure you give them the support. They've probably got some merch coming as well. I'm just speaking into existence because
you're right.
See there. So there we go. People, this has been truly a good conversation. I'm so happy to see the brothers, the man them coming through and now hungrier than ever. Now is the time. So guys, new music, new videos, festival. 2021 is great.
Yeah,
thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, man.
For both sides, man. Let's go. 2021, bro.
Yeah,
let's grow, man.
Let's grow. People, once again, this is the Doing It 365 podcast. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, click that notification bell, subscribe as well, and like button. Hit that like button and make sure you follow Eazzy and Loco. We out. Peace.
Peace, man.
Come on.